Hi everyone, in this video we would be learning about bubble sort. So bubble sort is a simple sorting algorithm which goes over an array and sorts it into the correct order. It is relatively simple and we would be learning how you can do that. So let's take an array, for example, 8, 3, 1, and 4. So a bubble sort consists of two nested loops. So we have an outer loop which manages the master iteration, and we have an inner loop which traverses over elements in an array. So the outer loop iterates as many times as the number of elements in that array. So in our case, it would iterate 4 times. So it is for I in range, for I in range and the len of the array. I'm not writing it completely because I just need to explain it here. All the coding will be done in Visual Studio Code. So this loop goes through each element, like all of these elements, one by one, and it does something. So that something is what I would tell you what it does. So now in case of the first iteration in the outer loop, let's see what happens inside this loop. So in the inner loop, we have 2 pointers. One at index number I, considering that this variable is I here, and other at I plus 1, like this. So we have 2 pointers, 1 and 4. I'll just write them too. If the value at the first pointer is greater than the second pointer, then they get swapped. So 3, 8, 1, and 4. So now these are at the pointers. And since 8 is greater than 1, the swap happens again. So this time 3, 1, 8, and 4. Since 8 is greater than 4, they would get swapped again. And in the end of this iteration, we would have 3, 1, 4, and 8. So in each pass of this, I'm just calling this iteration pass. So in each pass of the bubble sort, the heaviest elements get settled in the end. So in this case, it got settled in the end, which was 8. Now let's see what happens in the second iteration. So now the pointer is at 3 and 1. Now since 3 is greater than 1, 1 comes first, and then we have 3, then we have 4, and then we have 8. In our case, this already became sorted, but it goes through all those iterations. Okay, so let's see how you can do this in code. Let's declare a list, and the list would be the same, 8, 3, 1, and 4. I'll just catch the length in a variable. Length is equal to len of list, and we'll say for I in range and length. So just writing length here is the same as writing 0, length. So I'll just keep it as length, and then we say for j in range. And now the inner loop only needs to go till the time the last elements would already be settled for. So for the second pass, we only need to sort these elements, and we need to leave this element. So let's say for the third pass, I'm talking about the passes of the master loop, by the way, we need to leave these elements as they're already sorted. So we also need to add that part into the code. So for j in range 0, length of the list minus I here because the last I elements are already settled, and minus 1. because the length would be one more than the indices. So this is the reason we do that. And we do not need to specify the step. And if j of list is greater than j plus 1 of list, then we swap them. So let me just copy this thing, paste it, and we'll just swap them. So is equal to list j plus 1 comma list j. So the j of list becomes j plus 1 of list, and j plus 1 of list becomes j of list. So basically we're just swapping them. And once this has been done, let's print list. And going back to the terminal, here you can see the list has been sorted. And let me print it. Before the sort, list, and if I run it now, you see it was 8314, but after the sort happened, it changed to 1348. Thank you so much for watching this video, and goodbye.